Again, it's why I say it's such a great testing ground for the country for messaging, but also really great um, testing ground and training ground for organizers, because you truly have to be attuned to the differences between communities. And fundamentally, that just means listening, right? Like you can come into the state without having the historical knowledge of all the different people that make up Florida. But if you're listening to people's histories and to the things that they care about, then that makes all the difference. And very often, when we're thinking about states, when we're thinking about voting blocks, we tend to paint everyone with broad strokes and say, this is a messaging for the Latino community, this is a messaging for the Black community, this is a messaging for suburban mothers. And I get it, right? That's just part of this work. But what is so beautiful about Florida and the lessons that we can learn from a state like Florida is that you have to be much more nuanced. With the Latino community, for instance, Latino Victory did an ad in 2018 where we shot the same ad, and the concept was everyone knows that Latino families are run by the women, by the matriarchs, by our abuela. So we had an abuela in the kitchen making a meal, watching the news, and the question of healthcare came up. And depending on where in the state we were targeting different Republicans, and we said, Governor Rick Scott is attempting to cut your healthcare, and Abuela got mad, and she takes her slipper, which again is a cultural marker that transcends ethnic background for the Latino community. She takes her chancla and she throws it at the TV and urges everyone to go out and vote in protection of healthcare and access to healthcare in the state. Now, what we did different is that in Miami, we knew it was very important to have an accent that was either Cuban or South American, because we know that the vast majority of Latinos in Miami are from South America or are Caribbean, but a lot of them are Cuban. Whereas when we aired that ad in Central Florida, the accent was Puerto Rican. And when we did it in Tampa, again, different accent. And so just those cultural nuances are so important because they just show respect to a community. You have done enough research to know where I come from and to make me feel seen and represented. And again, goes back to listening. The fundamental skill that you need to have as an organizer is just listening, and that goes such a long way.